My name's Marshall. This is my wife, Jen. I've read Game of Thrones. Jen hasn't. We watched the show for the Wall Street Journal. Not a bad gig. Hello, everyone. Game of Thrones, Season 3, Episode 3. Jen and Marshall's review. First, I want to say thank you so much for commenting on YouTube. We have been reading every single one of them. We have not been replying, which is partially my fault. But we really appreciate it, and I'm sorry that they've been shorter, but we've been trying to make them shorter. Partially last week's was shorter because I was just talking way too much over Jen.
You were not.
So that's...
you have more things to say a lot of the time.
So I didn't want to be rude, because I can do that sometimes. But we want to talk about this episode. So Jaime Lannister doesn't have a hand anymore.
Yeah, no,
that... right hand. He got his right hand cut off.
That was pretty amazing, and that's his sword hand.
That's his sword hand,
Oof,
so he's going to have problems finding employment from now on.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was so interesting because we talked in our last recap about how he was starting to become a more sympathetic character in my naive view. And
that's not naive.
No, I bet my naive in terms of like I didn't know where it was going.
Right.
So when I saw this, it was sort of like, oh, that's where it's going, because this series it's brave.
Getting his hand cut off doesn't take away the fact that he pushed the child off the tower. And it doesn't take away anything that he has participated in with his family.
Absolutely. But in the trajectory of the show, it was like he's starting to become a more sympathetic character.
Well, he saved Brienne from getting raped, basically, in the woods.
And then he gets his hand cut off.
And then he gets his hand cut off, which is, some might argue he just should be killed up at this point. But I like Jaime. I think, as we talked about it, he's the most honest character. One of the more honest characters, but he's just charming, partially.
Well, the charm was part of
he's very crass and very sexist, but there's that kind of popular kid quality to him that's just like I wish I was like that.
And now it's a popular kid getting his comeuppance.
Exactly.
And I think that's what I really like about it is I didn't like the charming schmoozy quality to him. I thought that was part and parcel of him, just his manipulations. Mm-hmm. And now that he's been pretty much just gone through something so horrific.
Well, now he's going to be humbled in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, he
was starting to be humbled a little bit.
Oh, yes, but I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to not being able to use his sword hand anymore.
It's going to be fascinating. Well, there's a lot of stuff. This episode there was more of a trajectory to it. It felt like there was more of a pacing. Mm-hmm. The pacing had picked up. Mm-hmm. It was a nice, balance of nice interpersonal moments, but then also it was a little plot heavier.
Well, Jon is being sent down to the wall to infiltrate, so he's going to have to deal with that. Melisandre's left Stannis to go do things we don't know what she's going to do. And Arya is leaving friends behind and sticking with this brotherhood without banners.
This is an interesting group.
Robin Hood in there.
Yeah, very, very much.
Kind of feels like Robin Hood,
it does feel like Robin Hood. There's a kind of just sort of steal from the rich to give to the poor quality to it.
Which, again, back to the theme of, I don't think any of these people are qualified to rule this kingdom.
Huh.
Individual people I like,
you mean
but
the families?
Just none of these houses are up to the task.
Yeah,
and so if there's a little contingent fighting for the everyman, I'm good with that.
Well, that's sort of the Night's Watch, too.
The Night's Watch, too, exactly.
Yeah, there's a kind of you start to root for the underdogs and not just the underdogs. I mean, Tyrion was sort of the original underdog.
Right.
But now we're rooting for these individuals that are completely dispossessed and displaced.
Exactly. So. All right, this was a good one. It ended with a severance.
With a bang.
A severance. Well, it was a good one, and thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know what you think.
We really love getting your comments, and we want to make this as interactive as possible. So anything you can tell us about what we're doing that you like, what we're doing that you don't like, just let us know. It's really fun to read.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Love you.
Love you.
Bye, guys.